Okay. Dylan, are you there? 好像还没听到哎，只有我一个人在说话吗？
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is Maxwell MA.
Hey.
Dylan.
Yes. How's it going? Hold on. Video. There we go. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Oh,
how are you?
You look so nice today.
Oh, thank you. You as well.
Yeah.
It's actually tonight.
Oh, it's night?
It's
8
p.m.
It's 9 p.m., right?
Oh,
8
8 p.m. 8 p.m. Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
You have a summer time zone, something like that?
Yeah, well, so it's actually interesting. Arizona doesn't change. So we didn't move, but now we align with California. And then when it goes back in the spring, it goes to mountain time like Colorado.
Oh, you're lucky. You don't need to change your time schedule. Something.
Yes, but I use PST as a reference. So I've gotten a little confused with some meetings. Yeah.
Cool. So now let's start. Okay. So we welcome Dylan from Evergreen, and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us the Chia in China weekly forum. Maybe some people already know Evergreen, but I think in China community, very few people, because in China, you know, many farmers, they farm by themselves or they join a pool. So anyway, let's introduce yourself a little bit. Yeah.
Sure. So hi, my name is Dylan. I'm the creator of the Evergreen Miner. It is a really nice looking plug and play Chia device with a mobile app that lets you manage Chia, your wallet, and maybe even other coins. So I started working on the project just about a year ago after getting into Ethereum mining. I've been building consumer products and different kind of hardware for the past several years. And I gotten into Ethereum mining, and it was really good. It was really successful for me. But I really wanted to move to a low power solution because every time I would tell my friends about it, they were interested, but they didn't want to deal with this big clunky thing. And so when Chia came out and I realized, oh, it's just a hard drive, that seemed a lot more feasible. And so I made some prototypes, sold them to a small batch of first users. Those are all up and running. I, hand built those in my garage, and now I am working on a production version, being built out of a factory, and more productionized operating system, moving from like a web-based application to an actual mobile-based application, and then a lot more custom software as well. Yeah. I think you're on mute. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. I think it's pretty complex for one person like you to do so many jobs, to set up everything, you know. So tell us why you think you want to develop the hardware by yourself, you know.
So I am working with actually some factories out of Shenzhen.
Shenzhen,
Yeah. Yeah.
in China.
Yes, in China. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm working
Cool.
with some factories out there. You know, Seed Studio?
See, pardon?
Seed Studio.
See, it's a studio. Oh, I never heard that.
Yeah. So they're one of the factories that I have been working with, and you know, just getting samples and really testing a lot of different things and fixing things. You know, that we want to make sure the product lasts a long time. So I have been doing plastics though. So that has been one of my skills that I picked up really from 3D printing. You know, I got a 3D printer at my school, and then I got my own. And so I just made it, you know, like that. And at first I was just sanding them, but yeah, now, you know, I can't build all that on my own.
That's too much. That's
too much. And I've had a ton of help along the way with software and people actually building open source software that is going into the product. So that's been, you know, a really big help in the Chia community, and you know, several other kind of third party software that, you know, makes this a bit easier to get off the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think your idea is kind of make the plotting and the farming easy for farmers, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So,
and you know, I'll say not just farmers, right? Like a lot of people, Chia will be their first introduction into crypto, and I believe that something like a device is really easy for people to understand when they have it in their hands and they have an app where they can do a lot of things. And again, you know, Chia and other chains, interoperability is really important, because if there are things that the users want, you have to be able to deliver that. And so I am hoping that this is a, you know, ecosystem of apps and protocols that a lot of people can come onto and build and create many layers on top of Chia, on top of other blockchains, in the spirit of P2P, right? So not utilizing centralized servers, giving everyone the same chance to support the network is really, really important. So that's like the, you know, the big thing. But yes, this, you know, the focus right now is to make Chia very, very easy to get started and to get moving.
So if let's make it clear, if we buy somebody buy your service or products, what they got? I looked at your website. First is a harp, a green harp, something.
Yep.
It's a strawberry pie.
Yeah, raspberry. Yep.
Raspberry. Yeah,
yep.
Raspberry. Right. So that's the first thing I got. Then I have to buy hard drives by myself.
No, so the starter kit is the hub, which is, and at this point, it's kind of our light hub. So, you know, 1 GB of RAM, minimum spec, but we still are, you know, administering the applications in a peer-to-peer nature. So that's kind of our, you know, lowest level, entry level product. And that's, you know, $150. You get that, which comes with wallets, and again, any sort of apps that our partners in the ecosystem create for this platform. But you can get a starter kit that has either 6, 12, or 18 terabytes of RAM, or of storage, pre-plotted to your keys. And we have a tool where you can import those keys. We never keep your seed. We do have a tool that allows you to generate a new wallet with a plot NFT. So if you don't have to download Chia to make that credential for us to get started on your pre-plotted drive. So for a beginner, and again, we never save the seed. We display it to you, it gets deleted, we make sure you have it, but we never store it. And so as a new user, you can go on, you can get our starter kit, 6 terabytes for $250. You've got the hub and you've got a pre-plotted hard drive. When you get the device, you sign in with the keys that were generated for you, and you're farming. It's that simple. And even further that point, we are integrating additional Chia wallets. So we, would like our users ultimately to separate their farming wallets from their storage wallets, and and have really good custody. And so that's part of our roadmap as well, is to really help people with their custody and security and wallet generation.
Okay, let me explain in Chinese first, because
Yeah.
our farmers don't know English. Okay.
Sure.
我给大家翻译一下，简单的就是他的名字叫迪伦，那么迪伦啊，就是用中文来讲的话，那他搞了一个公司叫Evergreen，这家公司呢，是他一个人在搞的。那么他做了一个什么事情呢？就是做了一个硬件啊，一个 hub， 实际上就是我们的那个树莓派，然后树莓派呢再加这个硬盘。但是它的目的呢是让更多的人，就是没有技术能力的人，也能够参与到企业里边来，所以他把这个树莓派做成了相当于是一个 hub 的一个服务器，然后呢，你外边再接上这个硬盘，而这个硬盘呢是它事先都已经批好的，但它不会存你的这个私钥啊，就是每个人会有自己的这个钥匙来管理自己的硬盘啊，是这么一种形式。Okay, can you show us your products? You have something on your hand now?
Yeah. I'll grab something.
Yeah. 是这个英语是个问题。今天因为我们这个同步翻译的同事也没来，所以今天就我一个人。我的英语也就一般般，所以这个大家不着急啊，等回头我们会翻译啊，翻译以后回放。
Okay. So it's not green yet.
Yeah.
These are the boxes here. Let's see if we can. Yeah. So pretty simple. And so yeah, it should be a starter kit. Has a simple plug in the back, just a 12-volt slot, and then the hub has 8 USB ports, so up to 8 hard drives, and they stack. Kind of like they have this Lego design, so it all fits nicely together. Stays nice. We have anti and dampening built in as well, so it's a real nice system.
So actually, what's inside this box is the.
Yeah. So in the hub, you're going to have your computer, Raspberry Pi based. You're going to have 8 USB ports, an Ethernet port, and power. And then status LED indicators on the front that will show, red, blue, green, just to give you an idea of what's going on. And then each additional unit, which kind of looks the same, it stacks right on top, has a hard drive with plots ready to farm. And then in the back, you just connect it via USB.
其中一个呢是放着这个树莓派，带有这个8个 USB 的这个接口，然后另外一个盒子呢就是放硬盘，实际上它这是一个入门级的，为很多不太懂这个计算机软硬件的人提供的。那你买回来就能够用，就直接就开始挖矿，就开始有这个起亚产出就完了。所以这个是一个入门级的这个产品。Okay, so the white thing.
Yeah. So these will be green, right? This is just pre-production. We're just testing these. But
is it plastic or some material?
This is plastic. Yeah. This is a 3D printed.
I know
prototype. But yeah, this is like pre-production. Venting, and then like I said, we use rubber kind of posts to dampen the vibration, dampen the noise a bit. And yeah, I mean, eventually we'll probably move to SSDs within the next, 3 or 4 years, maybe. But, for now, these are hard drive based systems. We have good quality hard drives, warranties. We ensure, your plots are there. If there's an issue, you can download plots as well through our interface.
how many years warranty you provide for?
3-year warranty.
3?
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah.
Maybe I think the hard drive should be longer.
Yes. Well, so we're using recycled hard drives. You can opt in to get new hard drive. You can opt in for, more warranty for sure. But yeah, the used is just a different kind of sort of deal. Yeah.
Okay. 它这个盒子是3D 打印出来的，是这个塑料啊。大家知道这个3D 打印呢有很多种材料，有这个树脂的，就是早期的，后来就出现了这个塑料材质的，现在也有金属的。那么它用的是这个塑料的啊，然后这个你有问题的待会儿问啊，因为我这边一个人忙活就有点费劲啊，大家见谅一下。一打岔我都忘了刚才说到哪了。这个质保啊，它的这个质量保证是3年。我刚才问了一下硬盘是不是应该长一点，他说可以的，硬盘可以长一点。Okay, cool. So if I need more hard drive, cannot fit in that one box, right? I have to.
Yeah,
use
so
USB.
we're still testing the limitations, but I mean, ultimately, each of the servers are $150. Ideally, we can bring that down. We can maybe build in custom USB hubs or expanders. So I think for now, 8 buys us some time. And
so the maximum hard drive, have you ever tested before?
No, we haven't tested. We're still working through our circuit design and just bringing it up to full spec, and yeah, but it's going to take a good amount of testing to understand exactly what the limits are.
We have tried the Raspberry Pi connect 25 drives.
That's right. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Around there. Yeah.
So we'll see how much more our USB ports get out of it. But yeah, I'll have to put a bit more out on how we're actually going about that.
Yeah, it's a very light plan. I can tell. So it's very energy saving. How about the power consuming?
Yeah, it's like like
nothing.
like 10 watts. 10 watts for the USB hub.
10 watts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can think about it like a smart USB hub, right?
Okay. Plus hard drive.
So with a 6 terabyte, the starter pack, it's listed as 250. We could do deals. I mean, we're pre-ordering those right now anyway, though. Those are not on order today. We're still engineering it. It's still in a pre-order status.
所以它呢，这个能够携带的这个硬盘的这个最大数呢，倒是它也没测试啊，但基本上是在25块硬盘左右吧啊。那么它现在不是求数量啊，就是家庭版入门级，所以一般呢就是一两块硬盘就是这样子啊，就是对入门的这个起亚的农民来讲是非常方便的啊。然后耗电也很低，它现在实测下来就10瓦啊左右的这个耗电量。Okay, so we know the dust storm. Will it affect your harp or not?
Yeah, so our beta devices did all right. So we've actually mostly been using a light farming client, Flex Farmer. We are working on our own that can be configured to several other pools, or any pool, right? But yeah, so that's the light version runs with a light farmer. The full node farmer is not able to be run on 1 gigabyte of RAM.
Yeah, I know. I mean we have the dust storm, the sandstorm on Chia blockchain.
Yeah, so the dust storm, because we're using we're not running a full node. We're not going to be right, because we communicate with flexible servers. We send partials to flexible servers, and we're going to move
you are cooperate with Flexpool.
Yeah, for this version, right? So we're working on our own open source one, so anyone can help provide a service to light farming clients, right? But right now, because we haven't put that out yet, we're working with Flex Farmer and their servers, and so these light devices, specifically light devices, they send partials. They still will sign a block. It will still be their key that signs a block, but they're not running a full node. So if Flexpool has an issue with their full nodes because of the dust storm, then yes, that would be the problem with the devices. But because our devices are built with OTA upgrades in mind, we will be rolling out a custom, open light farmer that will, ultimately let people be on any pool. So I think we're going about it in the right way. We're just, trying to keep moving and trying to keep being able to test with people and move fast.
Okay, so it's kind of if I don't know technology too much, but I guess it's kind of a subnet to Flexpool, right? Something like that working.
Not necessarily, right? It's everything, like the wallet, that's like still an official Chia wallet, right? It's just, when you start the full node, you start the farmer, you're using Chia's full node farming, which connects you to a bunch of different peers on the Chia network. Whereas in our solution, your wallet is still an official Chia wallet, but instead of running the Chia farmer, we're running the Flex farmer runner, which sends the partials to Flexpool's server and hooks up to their full node. Again, it's still, farmers are still signing blocks. So it's not the same level of centralization as, say, a Bitcoin pool or an Ethereum pool, but there's a level that's out of our control, right? And what we would want to do is, again, add the ability for us to do it, but also for community members to contribute to supporting, high availability nodes and light farmers at some point. So that's the plan to, in the long term, actually scale this out and make sure we're getting the full network effects from Chia's network, protocol and communication the protocol.
OK，我刚才问他，就是因为用树莓派会不会受到这个沙尘暴的影响？那么他解释说呢，就是这个他们的这个是跟这个 Flexpool 这个矿池进行合作的，所以农民的钱包还都是在链上，但是这个通讯呢，并不是一个全节点，它是和 Flexpool 上的服务器直接进行通讯，签名还是用农民的钱包签名，那么这样的话就能够大大的降低这个沙尘暴对他们对这个树莓派的这个影响啊。刚才讲了一大堆啊，翻译不过来啊，等回头给大家翻译字幕啊。OK， 掉了吗 ？OK， come back 。All right. Yeah, I think that's a smart idea. That's very...
So let me mention one more thing. Sorry. We're going to have a full node version as well. In fact, you'll be able to upgrade your device to a full node version, just dropping in a module. So we would prefer people do full nodes, right? And we encourage everyone to custody their keys on site, never touching anything. We don't want that. But yes, sorry, for the rollout, we're just looking at the 1 gigabyte, keep it really low, get as many people as possible on ultimately.
当然他补充了一下，他说这个未来他们也会升级自己的这个全节点啊，这个是后一步，因为现在他还是和这个 Flexpool 在合作嘛啊。Okay, cool. I just saw your Twitter. You now you have a enterprise version, plug and play.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
big one.
So that kind of came about pretty naturally because you know, I was working on some supply chain stuff for the you know for the devices, and a lot of these have minimum order quantities, and so you know, I didn't think too much of it, but then I actually got some like inbound people interested in that sort of thing, and yeah, have just been working on actually how to do that. And as that's been going on, I'm like, maybe I could, you know, offer this as a service, kind of stand it up and see where it goes. You know, I think no matter what, in my mind, more space contributing to the network is net positive. So if I can play a role in setting that up and helping administer it, then that's like, you know, that's my priority for sure.
Okay, I think so. You should focus on the light version first. I think it's
Yeah,
because
well,
the
you
enterprise
know,
version is very lots of work. I can tell you.
yeah. Well, we'll talk. We can definitely talk more about some of the process stuff. Yeah.
我刚才问他，就是因为推特上他刚打了一个广告，就是也有了这个这个他叫企业版啊，就是容量比较大的这种啊，但现在它还不是太成熟啊。那么 so tell us how much you sell. How's your service system? It's a pre-order. Then how much about to buy some standard? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So just generally, the first batch was about 25 devices, about $800 a device. So this was when Chia was in the like $600 or $700 range, I believe, if I'm thinking correctly. So that was priced at a higher price point. Those sold out in like a week, and I fulfilled those. So that was about, I think, $23,000 worth of sales. And the pre-orders have been pretty sparse. I think it's like 15,000. I haven't done just too much outbound on it because, you know, quite frankly, like I feel bad having, you know, people waiting, and it's good to have like a group of people who are supportive and will test. But too many people can be like a really big distraction, if that makes sense, especially because, you know, ultimately, like I know I ran this batch, and I know, you know, how to serve people, and I just want to, you know, get rubber to the road and start building these things out.
So if I ordered, for example, if I ordered today, how long you can deliver your product?
So the big thing we're working on getting right is the software, and just the first release. We can update it, but we just want to make, like, there's a lot going into the initial bring up. Lot of moving parts, lot of different security mechanisms, authentication mechanisms, and, you know, routing that kind of has to happen. And so, you know, I'm hoping that's available within around 6 weeks, and that's going to be out on a you know, like a Raspberry Pi, you know, flashable, maybe for, you know, a small alpha. And then in terms of the hardware, you know, I think we're probably on a similar vein, around, you know, 8 weeks from the first prototypes. It's a lot of iteration. That's kind of what it just comes down to right now, is iteration and testing and making sure that each part is going to work. So when you do get the big order, because it's a lot easier to fix one device. If you mess something up and, you know, 500 people buy it, it's like, you know, but that being said, you know, we have a lot of samples going to the right people who are going to be able to, you know, spread the word quite a bit. So I'm excited to keep building this and to keep getting it closer and closer to launch and production. That being said, the answer to your question, you know, I'd say it's safe like 3 months, because we have to cater to the people who have pre-ordered it through samples, get it in their hands, make sure it works for at least a couple weeks, and then, you know, we'll slowly open up production lines as we, again, make sure that it's working well.
Yeah. 它现在呢还是那种预售模式啊，还是在预售模式，也就是说，比如说我今天给他付了钱，他其实没有一个很明确的这个交货期啊，他大概说了一下是大概6到8个星期啊，但我刚才听下来呢，实际上他前面的很多都还没有交付，所以 不建议大家现在去尝试啊，就是当然支持他可以啊，如果钱支持他一下，买一个小的倒也是可以的。Yeah, that's I'm looking forward to see your final products that
Yeah.
can come out. Yeah,
Me too.
actually, I know you before. Last September or something.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Still waiting. That's
No, I know. But no, it's gonna be worth it because it's just a lot is going into it, like more than you might think, because the Chia experience already, not that it's overcomplicated in any way, but running a computer that really runs a Chia wallet and node in a secure, responsible, easy to kind of maintain manner, that's fairly nuanced. And then to do that 1,000 times or 10,000 times, that's also nuanced. And I believe that the network will garner enough demand to hit those numbers. I've seen it happen with networks like Helium and Ethereum, and I really believe Chia is that, and that like scale is like several 100,000 a year nodes being deployed, that sort of thing. That, so as much as I really want to, get something out quick, I am also just really wanting to make sure that it's done right, and it does what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
I know it's not easy, and you want to be responsible for all the customers. So you need to do many tests, I think. Okay.
I would rather, I'd rather mess up in the lab than mess up, big with a bunch of people who've paid money and then have to deal with moving it back. And, it's just not, it's easier to get it right.
Yeah. So how can you make survival, right, to continue your business?
Yeah, well, that's kind of where the big rigs come in. Selling those big rigs are definitely bigger purchase orders, even at smaller margins, it's a good kind of survival. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm just staying lean, and I'm just kind of have taken responsibility for building out a lot of the initial software that's going to help just solidify again some of these core tenants, and getting help from a lot of people is also helpful. And then, a little bit of investment, angel investment, that sort of stuff, just to, from Chia believers, people who really see the future of Chia, and people who also see the future of computer ownership and contributing to networks as kind of the default for an operating system, I think is a really compelling idea. So yeah, investors and pre-order revenue and revenue from the big miners.
OK， 刚才我在问到就是他怎么去持续他的运营啊？他这是主要还是一个是靠特别是最近他推出这个企业版，他找一些这种大的用户能够预售，那么另外呢也在寻求这种投资啊。如果对他的这个企业有兴趣的，其实现在我觉得也是个好时候，好好跟他聊一聊。小伙子很不错啊，很不错。其实去年就已经在起亚都知道他。起亚官方对他也是蛮支持的啊，这个他一个人创业就基本上就在自己家里面啊，就在自己家里面，这是美国的创业风格，在自己的这个地库里面就开始干起来了啊，很不错。So and do you have a local customer in Arizona, or you are more like to sell on the internet?
You mean the big stuff?
The big one, of course. The big
one. Yeah, I'm figuring out how to do that anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, no one's really doing it. And it's really fascinating to me. I love just like productizing things. So it's weird because you would never think a server was productizable, but like a few third-party products put together in a nice way with, like I said, like a mobile app and you actually kind of have yourself a pretty compelling thing. So yeah, I mean, working to set up some channels right now, working with a couple first customers, but ultimately just ad hoc, like we're going to do whatever really a customer wants right now, because we're just trying to experiment and figure out how this works. And hey, again, add more farming to the network. That's a net positive, you know.
But why don't you talk with a Chia official to get the grant? Something.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working.
Are you working on that?
Yeah, well, I'm writing it out. I want to make sure I clarify things and really have a good understanding of it in my own head, and kind of use that as an opportunity to write out the grant. And the grant itself has some nuances where you have to ask yourself, what's important to Chia network proper, and what works for them. So yeah, so I'm working on that grant. I'm working on, I'm always talking to people and getting people's interest. And at the end of the day, like, a lot of the investment game is selling people on Chia. And I'm at the very least doing that, and putting out the word about Chia, educating people about it. And I believe that Evergreen is really like a good use case of Chia. It's a really good example of what the technology can do and what the platform lends itself to, because it's so transformative. It enables hardware that has far less power than what we think of today as even a reasonable amount for phones, and it's transforming it into this incredible device that can run highly complex, highly intuitive, highly distributed apps on minimum spec hardware. Like, so I'm in it. Yeah, like I said, I think this is like a really good output of that. So yeah, anyone who's interested in Chia, I think, should be interested in this project, and a lot of other projects. There's like, so many good things going on in Chia, and I hope there's I hope there's some crossover, right? I hope we're able to bring applications onto our network from some of the developers that are already making really good Chia applications.
我问他为什么不去申请这个起亚的这个资助啊？他说他正在，也跟他们谈了很多，看得出来呢，这个 Dylan 呢对这个起亚是非常热爱的。他是刚才内容很多啊，他就是说，起亚他认为是一个非常棒的这个创新的一个区块链，所以他才有了这个想法。来在起亚上做一些事情，而且他这个想法，他认为对起亚也是非常有好处的，能够大大的这个降低这个入门的门槛啊，不需要那么高的技术，那么也可以在这个节能上能够更好的展现起亚的节能的这个概念，所以他跟起亚的官方也交流了很多啊，现在正在争取得到起亚官方的这个资助。So you do talk with somebody in Chia network, Jian or somebody else?
Oh yeah, I mean I stay friendly with everyone. I saw people at the meetup, and I love when they come to the spaces, and yeah, multiple people on the team who I like to just chat with, or I ideally work on some problems or think through some things. But yeah, no, I have I would hope good relationship with some of the people at the Chia network, and I love the work that they're doing. I'm like a mega fan.
I heard that they are the grant. They are more like software development teams.
Yeah, no. So that I was kind of talking about that. There's some nuances, right, where we're not applying as Evergreen, the company per se. We're applying, for the operating system that we're building, and like I mentioned, bringing it to platforms like Raspberry Pi and other platforms as well. That would be pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm very passionate about Web3, blockchain or Chia enabled operating systems, because they they are able to utilize over provision old minimum spec hardware and just get a ton of value from the applications that are on the network. So it's an exciting time, that's for sure.
My network. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I think let me explain in Chinese. 刚才我问他就是在这个申请这个起亚官方资助的时候，起亚可能是对这个硬件这个投资可能不是太感兴趣，他们更希望去投资软件，所以 Dylan 呢，他现在也是用自己的这个操作系统来申请这个起亚官方的资助。这网络今天不太好，Okay. All right. So actually, I remember you don't mind I talk about your age, right?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
You were 23 last year?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, I turned.
In the young people in America. You have
Yeah.
many friends
So,
to talk about that?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different circles, right? I would say that there is a very, or there are a lot of specific circles for my generation in blockchain, and then there's a lot of circles that don't engage with it or know anything about it. And I mean, it's not as mainstream as some places, and like, for example, when I'm with so a lot of my friends back from college in Seattle, they don't really know what I'm talking about still. Maybe they've gotten into Bitcoin or Ethereum through an investing perspective, but they're not using applications or anything like that. But then yeah, in the crypto circles, I mean, it totally ranges. I'd say a lot of NFT community thinkers right now, at least that I see, people thinking about how you do like governance and DAOs and I mean, I couldn't really ascribe it, but people from different places are into different things. But yeah, I'd say that it's kind of the classics. You have either someone who doesn't really know much, but might have Bitcoin or Ethereum, someone who's in it for finance stuff, someone who might, is kind of new. It's a lot of like, I would say the new trend is more, and they're a little bit younger than me, more in their, late teens, early 20s, working on a lot of community, a lot of NFT. That's a lot of the stuff that I see. And I mean, I love it. It's really awesome. It's so cool to see people being activated like that, and yeah, it's awesome.
我刚才的问到，其实我是知道的，他就是23岁，相当年轻啊。然后这个我问了一下美国这个他们这一代的人，就是年轻人对这个区块链啊、数字货币是什么样一种态度？他就说有不同的圈子，有人都最少都是购买了一些数字资产，只是没有太深入的去研究它。你比如说买了比特币啊，或者是买了以太坊啊，但还没有太关注到应用这个层面上去。那最近比较热的呢，就是有谈到这个 NFT 啊或者是 DAO 啊，就是聊这种这个人越来越多了。就是总的来讲，美国的年轻一代对这个区块链和数字货币还是比较热衷的。Yeah, we just why I ask that because I know that U.S. government just have something legally to do like the president EO, and they have some serious discussion about the future of cryptocurrency. So I think that will be it's a good signal for this world. I think so. So
yeah, I mean,
talk about the
yeah. So you know, I have some ideas about the specific regulation that's going on right now, but just broadly, I think it's good if they are talking to the right people and understanding the good intentions, which is that people shouldn't be getting hurt because of financial crimes at an institutional level. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know, literally throughout the last 20 years, it's been a lot of people in the United States that get hurt because there's, you know, large banks that kind of put together markets that end up collapsing, and then the banks get bailed out, but the people don't. And that's what Bitcoin was kind of born out of. And so if the regulators ultimately do it in a way where the outcome is the same situation, where it's just a small group of people that have the ability to hurt the majority, then that's not good regulation. That missed the point entirely. And likely what that means is that, you know, there's some deals going on to, you know, ultimately, you know, use corporations and use centralized entities to influence the way that things are regulated. And, you know, I don't think that's what anyone wants, and that's not the future of finance. The future of finance is compliant and secure. The future of finance is not necessarily, you know, is not equities, it's not securities, it's commodities, it's things that are really for the people. And that's something, that's something I stand by, and that's something that I just really hope the regulators and the U.S. government understand.
So anyway, it's legal right now in United States to
yeah. It's very
mining, or, you know.
So I mean, there are some states, but certainly not Chia. I mean, how are you going to know if a Chia farm is running? Like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
I mean, and no, there's definitely, I know what you're kind of, I mean, I love that. Okay, like this is kind of funny, right? I love the fact about, you know, Chia and the devices I'm building in particular, like they're very resistant in a lot of ways. I mean, and it's not a bad thing either. It's like you have a device that, you know, allows you to connect to peers, manage your money, messaging applications, you know, that sort of stuff. And I mean, it's this little tiny thing running, you know, 15, 20 watts, making you a little bit of money. Maybe that money pays for your applications. Like, that's completely self-serving, and it's off, you know, it's off centralized services. It's just over the ISP pretty much. So I think that's pretty gov resistant in my mind. And yeah, it's fascinating to me from like a technology perspective.
Do you need to pay the tax to government?
Well, so I think in terms of mining, it's still unclear. It's generally exit events, right? So when you convert it to USD, you need to, you know, that's considered a sale. I'm not sure how mining goes. I believe that people do run it as businesses, meaning that there are certain tax incentives, but ultimately, yes, you're going to get taxed. So not my expertise yet. I'm sure I will be figuring out all the intricacies of mining law as it progresses.
刚刚问到他就是这个，在美国这个现在政府的有很多这种针对加密数字货币的这个监管政策啊，一些监管的一些讨论，那么对这个整个行业的这个影响，他认为呢就是主要就是要解决好这个保护人民啊，就是不要让人民受到这个金融犯罪的这个伤害。那就是这样的话，就是政府的这个作用就起到了。总体来讲呢，现在在美国呢做这些事情都是合法的。那当然除了个别州也有啊，就是有禁令。但是起亚呢，在美国是基本上，他就说因为耗电量也很低，而且也很难知道你在做起亚，所以基本上也没啥事儿啊。至于我还问到了就是要不要纳税的问题，他说这个 有一些如果你要转成美元的话，可能需要纳税。如果你一直就是存储在数字货币里边的话，这个问题也不大。就我了解呢，就有些人会主动纳税，有些人呢就也就那么回事。因为现在美国也没有专门的法律来强制要求啊，大概是这样子。刚才有个小伙伴问什么？主要做哪块开发？Somebody asking, what are you doing now? What are you developing? I think we explained before. It's hardware plus OS, right?
Yeah. So specifically, I mean, I have the main things I have going on are building out these big units, working with factories on getting the components correct and all laid out, and then I'm doing a lot of software right now to get like the initial lift, and then we'll be bringing in people to deploy.
I think it's mainly still some kind of a traditional programming, not the. Do you get involved into Chia Lisp?
No, you're correct. You're correct. It's systems. It's just systems, operating systems, mobile app, and cloud management, fleet management, right? So for now, our fleet management is in a centralized server. We're probably going to move, that into a ideally distributed, community run servers. And yes, I see you're asking if it's ARM based. It is. It's ARM, RPi based. So very robust and well built out open source system. It's helping development quite a bit.
他现在主要是做还是他的这套机器的软件和硬件也硬件的开发主要是在这种购买跟那个供应商互相的这个交流，还有操作系统的这个开发操作系统这块的开发基本上还是属于传统的技术开发这一类基本上他没有用到 Chia Lisp 这种就是专门针对企业来开发应用，这个倒没有。Okay, cool. So let's talk about a little bit about the data layer of the.
Sure. Yeah.
I know you just have a happy hour.
Were you there?
But not so happy. Maybe. No, I played the record.
Yeah, that was. I mean. That was funny, and then we were all talking about it today on Twitter, and it was yesterday was a weird day in the Twitter space. I don't know if you saw that Bored Ape Coin Twitter space that was going on for like 26 hours. Oh no, we lost you. Hold on.
Today my network sucks.
It happens. No, it happens to me too. Yeah, so anyway, though, yesterday I was just in Twitter spaces a lot. But yes, last night we were talking about data layer, and we keep learning about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think the data layer will be the very how to say that the key to the enterprise utilities?
Yeah, in a lot of ways I do. I think it is the perfect balance of adoptability and novelty, right? It's not too cumbersome. You don't have to rewrite your entire system. You can use existing assets, existing frameworks you can use existing frameworks. You don't need a ton of developers client side. You don't need to hire necessarily blockchain developers out of the gate. And that's what Climate Warehouse is kind of proving, is that you can build something with data layer, with tokens, with offers. And these were all, primitives, not all of them, but a lot, data layer and I think offers were primitives that came out of doing an engagement. So this isn't just people's ideas. This is real innovation coming from discovery, right? And that's, you can't replace that. So long answer is that, and short answer is yes. Data layer will be a very big part in working with enterprises and allowing them to utilize blockchain without having to overhaul their entire system.
My understanding, data layer is something between the blockchain and the traditional database.
Yeah,
something in the middle.
it's a layer, right?
Yeah.
So let's take like a MySQL database, MySQL server, Postgres, SQL, whatever, that type of data, key pair database. Essentially, you can take a snapshot of that database and represent that on chain. And so it's not the data itself that is being stored on the data layer at all. It is the CRUD operations, right? The read, delete operations. So in theory, you can use data layer to gates information. So only this person is allowed to update this table. Now, granted, the table is still on someone's server. It can be on my server, it can be on your server. And then there's also observer nodes that like are watching that and providing update layers for it. So you can think about this in some ways like a native API, right? And don't hold me to this because I don't want to be too many semantics with it, but that's how I'm starting to think about it. Like, it's not the data, it's the layer through which you authenticate your data, through which the data, not durability, but the integrity of the state of the data is maintained, right? And again, you can use that to limit access, to give access via other on-chain assets, and you can use that for transparency while maintaining privacy, right? And that's just a couple of the things, but it's really cool because you can integrate existing databases and it's distributed on such a large network already. And not that everyone on Chia is doing this, but everyone on Chia, the power of the Chia network backs this, right? It backs this in a lot of ways. So that's kind of my understanding. And, ultimately it's a primitive.
Yeah.
You can make anything with it.
If we really discuss that, we can talk about all day. I know it's complicated, but just make it simple. I think your explanation is easy to understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, I'll say that I'll go with the API for now. Yeah. That might be an oversimplification, but that's how I'm thinking about it right now. But it can be very misleading, I'm sorry, it can be very misleading to say API. That's the problem.
Yeah. 我给大家讲一下，就是刚才我谈到这个数据层 datalayer， 昨天呢，他也主持了一个 AMA， 因为 Delay 呢也是这个欧洲的这个 Happy， 不是欧洲，就是对欧洲区的Happy Hour 的这个主持人。他也是每周跟我一样要主持一场这个 AMA 或者是论坛之类的。那昨天他们就讨论的就是 data layer， 那么就是数据层数据层。那数据层呢，实际上是比较复杂的一件事情，但简单来讲呢，它是介乎于我们这个区块链和传统的数据系统之间的一层。我们现在很多传统的企业如果要把这个系统转移到区块链上去的话，那就不需要再有这个大量的就是聘用大量的这个区块链开发者，而只需要这个数据层就可以跟这个区块链进行这个对话。那他描述呢，这个数据层呢，相当于是一个快照能够一个 API 那么跟区块链的一个 API， 那么能够让传统的这个企业能够很方便的和区块链进行对接。那区块链的好处就是它不可篡改、透明安全、可靠，对吧？而传统的数据、中心化的数据呢，它就存在这种篡改数据的这种问题。但是呢，传统的这些数据呢，因为存在的时间也很长了，数据量也很大，也不可能一下子搬到这个区块链上去，包括这个交互的速度都不可能是区块链能够完成的，所以在中间有一个夹层。至于具体的原理呢，我就不在这儿赘述了我也不太懂这个详细的技术这个回头大家再去研究，大概的意思就是这么个意思村长说的对就是 API 的这种方式。Somebody asking your hardware is on ARM system? ARM?
Yeah.
OK， 是在 ARM 结构上的是 ARM 结构的。OK， So, do you know something about the NFT standard in Chia? They
I
have.
don't know. Well, I guess they just put out a bunch of stuff on their Git repo yesterday.
Who?
Chia put out a bunch of stuff on their GitHub.
Okay.
So I was getting a lot of murmurs about the DID standard, but no, I couldn't tell you much about the NFT standard. I mean, I do know though that it's going to be very awesome and very powerful.
Yeah. They are doing many things. I think the Chia team. Really, I
They
really
really are.
appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just heard they are doing something like privacy messenger or something like that.
That's what I was
really
hearing too. Yeah.
hard to imagine. Yeah. 我刚才在谈到就是现在起亚，我想问问他这个 NFT 他了解有多少？这个他就说呢 ，NFT 这块的开发进度他了解的不太多，但是呢，他可以去想象，知道的一些信息呢是 NFT 会很不错啊，很不错。然后我了解到的信息呢，这个起亚还在开发这个，除了这个我们已经知道的NFT 的标准，这个 DID。包括硬件钱包，我今天最新了解的信息呢是，他们还在做这个加密通讯、加密聊天挺好玩的啊。起亚也在搞加密聊天，而且这个搞这个加密聊天的这个开发者啊，其中有一位就在咱们群里边啊，这个我就不说是谁了啊，这个反正。挺不错的，也就是说，起亚的这个团队啊，技术团队现在在，开足了马力啊，在各个方向上在造轮子啊。我们说它还是在基础建设阶段嘛，所以要有很多这种开发工具要造出来。DID 是啥 ？DID 就是去中心化个人身份啊。以前我们的身份证，比如说都要。在公安局，公安局就知道你所有的这个身份嘛。那么 DID 呢，是既能够确认你个人的身份，又没有一个中心化的管理啊，就是其实还是保护个人资产、个人隐私的这么一个出发点。Okay, cool. So I think. Do you have something you want to show us? You have some exciting
I have some drawings, but I prefer to I prefer to release it and but no,
you do have some big news, right? That's what you mean?
Well, no, not big news. Just when I prefer that I prefer to show when it's like, really working, not kind of drawings or but I can talk about, where the application is at and what I'm really hoping to do in like the short term with that. So yeah, I mean, ultimately the big things are, running Chia and farming, so you have a wallet and you have farming. And I mean, quite frankly, you don't even 100% need to have the wallet on the device. You can have it as a library or as a part of the mobile app, but we're really interested in using, hardware security, right? So it's like if we can put a hardware security module on the device or utilize, some protocol that is on the server that, maybe there's some sort of offline way to kind of virtualize something offline, that's kind of compelling. But so yeah, the ability to farm, the to manage your hard drives, add and download plots, and yeah, the ability to manage wallets and then multiple other wallets, that's kind of the core product. The additional wallets that will be released after we ship, but at the very initial, yeah, we want a wallet and we want a farmer and we want to be able to download plots, because then what you really unlock is, okay, we release our operating system and like anyone with a Raspberry Pi, which is a very, very large group of people, can flash this as kind of as an alternative. pull a hard drive off the shelf, plug it in, and if they have hopefully enough bandwidth, we can get them started on Chia, right then and there, with just a couple clicks. And so I really, there's a lot that goes into that, but it's worth it because well, it's all coming together, and as it all comes together, it just gets me very excited. So, but it'll be there soon, and once it is, I mean, I assume it's you guys can get Raspberry Pis. You could try it out, before you get the custom, and hey, maybe you don't even need the custom at that point. But the custom's nice. I like the green. I like the green a lot.
Yeah, but I think you'd better prepare for something for Chinese farmers, because it's hard for us to buy from the United States. But you do have a partner in Shenzhen.
Our partners in China.
Somehow you can do that. Yeah, in the future.
No, for sure. And that's and again, the way I'm thinking about all these things, I think a lot about, I mean, there's you've seen it. There's a lot going on, but I'm really into Chia, and I really think that the more people that can just use it very easily, the better.
Okay, let me translate. 刚才就问到他有没有什么，因为在之前跟我准备的时候，他说他有一些比较好的消息啊，然后我说你能不能给透露一下，然后他还是说要等到他发布的时候，还是想憋一下。但是主要的方向呢，还是在这个硬件上，在这个 farming 和这个 plotting 上面做了很多这种优化。总而言之，他的目的我看出来就是还是希望能够降低这个起亚的门槛能够让更多普通人很轻松的能够进入到起亚的这个生态里边来。我看到有一个人举手了，于毅在吗？
OK， 我为他解开禁言，解开那个静音。
这是谁啊
？M 汉，
不是某汉吧？
不是，他举手了，但他也没有自行解除，我只是请求他解除，需要他自己来解一下。
OK，
有可能是点错了。
OK， somebody have questions？ 我们还有什么问题吗？好像没有啊。数据层部署在哪里？云计算中心，这个不太好解释啊。这个应该是它其实是个接口啊，这是个接口。OK， 我刚才问到他这个产品，如果在中国，我们中国人很难买到嘛，这个希望他将来通过他的中国合作伙伴，能够在中国市场做一些这个推广所以他本来就在深圳，他就是跟深圳有合作伙伴，所以我才说以后他可能会做到这一点啊。So how do you think about the Chia cloud plotting? Like GM research a lot on that. I think Akash.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect. It fits right with the ethos that we're trying to do of, peer owned everything. So downloading plots through a peer owned platform is A++.
Did you try it? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I've tested it. Yeah, it's nice.
It's for example, if you download 1 gigabyte, how long it take for you in United States?
Well, it depends on your download speed, right? So there's people, your download speed has to be good enough to do it, in a reasonable amount of time and take the bandwidth. I think when I was working with people, if it's like less than 400 or 500, you're not going to have a great time, but at a gigabit, you're fine. And I mean, that's what our software can, basically do auto download. So especially if it's downloading their course a couple days, you don't want to throttle your network when you're watching TV and stuff. And, you want to be, let it run all night, that sort of stuff. So we really automate it. And I love that it's distributed through Akash network,
Yeah, but I forward that message to China, but most people here, they think it's too hard to do that because the network.
Well, what are the speeds?
The speed, huh?
What are the download speeds?
Download speed, I think is 500 something, 500
megabits.
600.
Yeah, I mean 500 is fine. Yeah, good enough for sure.
So
you don't need to worry about upload.
So you think that's practical for normal people?
Well, I mean, you're not talking about plot upload, right?
No.
Yeah, no. For plot download, yeah, 500 is fine. As long as it's 500 megabits. Yeah.
我刚才问到他这个就是起亚最近那个云批盘，就是在Akashi 这个网络上，因为我们一般都觉得不太现实啊，就是这个带宽的问题，不是带宽的问题，是这个速度的问题啊，会觉得很长时间，就他的体验呢，他也试过了，觉得感觉很不错啊，主要是你下载的这个网速高不高？如果是500-600兆的话，还将就；如果是1个G 的话，就很爽啊，大概是这意思啊。我还没试过，我其实蛮想试一下它这个 Akashi 的这个，就是他们在上面批好盘，我们下载下来，看看这个模式到底怎么样啊。OK， I'd like to try it from China. Someday.
Yeah, I can walk you through it.
Okay, but they needed to buy something, buy their own token, Akashi token.
Yeah, something like that. Like, well, advice. But no, I'm sure we'll figure it out. It's not.
So you think in the future in here, one click farming will come true or not?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Of course, but like
2 years.
It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you have the right device or the right setup for it. Like, even if you have one-click farming, it doesn't mean that you got your plotted drive. It doesn't mean that you have the right equipment to plot or even download. And it doesn't even mean you have a computer that can run all day if that's what you want. And it doesn't mean you have a computer that can custody your keys correctly. So, and that's not really Chia's game. And it shouldn't be, because they're not in the business of monitoring people's computers or, managing their security settings. I'm selling a device that helps with those things. And so if you're a user, you're opting into that. If you don't want to do that, you don't at all have to. And in fact, the operating system, as I say, open, I would love for you to be able to use it without, using any of the other services that that aren't kind of peer protocols. So I'm very open about all that. If Chia does one-click farming, it doesn't really change it just helps me serve my customers faster, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still there's still nuance to getting plots.
Yeah, I think so.
And hard drives. There's still new. I mean, how many people do you really know that can run a computer all day? Like, maybe a laptop, but ultimately, it's one of these. This is what we want to make. Something like this. And yeah, I think Chia is just like the perfect example of a technology that makes compute more accessible to more people. The power of compute, more accessible, right?
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. Yeah. 我刚才问到就是这个起亚的一键批盘一键跟踪有没有可能实现，他是非常确定的啊。他认为这个起亚在这方面做了大量的这个技术研究，也一定会实现。就是当然它的这个形式可能不是说我们自己设想的，要去 就是我们设想的那种状态啊，就是好像一个买一台计算机，买几个硬盘，然后点一个键，怎么样，它可能会是因为现在的形态还不太清楚啊，就是会满足不同的这种条件吧，因为确实每个计算机的系统也不一样，软件硬件的配置也不太一样，所以并不是一件很容易做到的事情啊。那么将来对他的这个事情，现在正在干的事业来讲，他认为是个补充啊，是挺好的一件事情。OK， 村长还在吗？村长要不要问点问题？其实我蛮想让他看看村长的这个规模的，我估计会把他吓一跳啊。Okay, we almost done. Now we have, I have set up the Chia global crowdfunding NFT activity. So how do you think about that? It's interesting for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many use cases for crowdfunding, whether it's a product, a business, a token, I mean, food, like whatever you can, there's so many uses for crowdfunding. So I love it. I'm curious, like, how are you going about, designing it and building it, and like, what does that look like?
It's kind of actually, it's our purpose is to activate the Chia community because right now most of the farmers, they just farming, plotting, and have nothing to do. So we think it's an activity that everybody can join and enjoy it, have fun. That's the main purpose. And then we can make a NFT composed by everybody. This NFT actually is made by everybody, many people. Then we auction in if Chia NFT marketplace ready, we will auction there, and half 50% give to the contributors, another 30%, 35% we will contribute to the grant funding. Maybe help you, maybe help somebody developing the ecosystem. That's our idea.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's that's really awesome. I've been thinking about a lot of similar things, and I totally agree. We need to keep activating the system.
Yeah. Just
do you see this video stream here? I think someone's showing us their server farm here.
Yeah. I hope everybody can join together and have fun. So I hope you can help to reach out to this activity in United States also.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's keep talking about it. I mean, it's so early, and I love we should all be working on ideas, and yeah, it really feels like something special.
Okay. Did you see that video? That's a camera.
Yeah.
That's one of my friends. 哎，怎么给关了？村长，打开一下。我正准备让他看呢，你就给。Okay, that's his farm.
I was gonna say that's so. Is that all Chia, or is there some ASICs?
Chia, only Chia.
Oh my God. I couldn't help but notice. I was watching.
That's only one farm.
What in the world? Oh my God. That is the biggest farm I never even thought of a farm that big.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
That's a whale.
Huh?
It's a whale. A Chia whale.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
And he's still adding
I was gonna say it looks like
hard drive every day.
I was gonna say it looks like that whole warehouse is gonna be filled.
So very interesting, cool, huh?
I'm amazed. Yeah.
60 gigabytes. That's the mainstream in China. 这个老牛逼了啊，老牛逼了啊！这个村长这个一下把他给镇住了啊。刚才我在跟他谈到，就是因为我们最近也给大家讲一下，就是我们就这2天我们会启动这个起亚全球众筹 NFT 活动啊。这2天我们的网站就会上线了。那么有很多这个国际的社区也都会参与啊。这个是由我们这个 MaxiDAO 和 Chia in China 来组织的。So it's totally about 240 gigabytes in this warehouse.
A quarter exabyte.
Yeah. That's a part of his farm. That's just the one piece. Probably, as I know, he has 700 gigabytes something, around that. 我觉得刚才的讲的就是我们要启动的这个NFT 众筹活动呢，是每一个矿工每一个农民每一个起亚的这个爱好者都可以参与的啊。我们会搜集，就是很容易啊，就是大家只要拍一张自己最心爱的矿机的照片，那么上传，回头呢我们会把它定制成，就是绘制成一张图啊，一张 NFT， 所以实际上是大家共同来创作的一个艺术作品啊。我们也有这个艺术家为我们来最终进行这个合成啊，所以是很有意思的一件工作。如果就是每个人都参与的话，每个人也获得自己那张图片的 NFT 那么将来这张大的 NFT 呢，你的记录就在里面啊，你的这个历史记录就永远的锁定在了区块链上啊，就锁定在了区块链上。正好过2天也是21号是这个起亚的上主网1周年纪念日嘛，那么如果我们这个时候众筹一张图片的话，那是很有历史意义的啊。将来当然我们不说它值多少钱吧，因为这个活动本来我们是一个公益的活动，也是让大家玩起来啊，也希望大家一起来参与。如果是社区的话啊，比如说我是一个农场啊，或者是我是一个项目方，那也欢迎跟我们联系。我们会把你们的 logo 和这个跳转链接放在我们的 web 上，然后将来的 NFT 上也会贴上大家的这个 logo 啊，叫永相传啊，永远不会磨灭的一个印记啊，我觉得是很有这个纪念意义的啊。欢迎大家一起来参与这个活动啊，这是个全球性的活动啊。好，我就是介绍一下我们这个马上要启动的这个起亚全球众筹 NFT 的这个活动，然后每一个参与者呢，将来这个 NFT 拍卖了以后呢，大家也可以分点啊，可以分一点啊，不是为了赚钱啊，是一个纪念啊。每一个提交了的呢，也都会获得我们一个CAT 啊，作为这个兑换凭证，因为起亚现在 NFT 还没出来嘛，还没出来啊。好，我要说的就这些。OK, Dylan. Okay, I think that's all. It's about 1.5 hours. So yeah. Thank you very much. Do you have anything else you want to say to our members in community?
No, I appreciate the time, and I hope to be releasing some stuff soon that will wow everyone and give a very good experience.
Okay, I think it's a very nice talk to you. So,
yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, we are know more about Chia and your dream. Okay, So we keep in touch and have a good day, good night, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye, bye, bye. 好，谢谢大家。那今天的就结束了啊。感谢各位的光临。好，谢谢，拜拜。